important and influential national publications and networks that we have. How do you think this game today, if it's even being acknowledged, or ultimately Monday night, is going to play in the major markets in the hinterlands outside of Alabama and Georgia?
Well, I think, this is such a college football is kind of a regional sport anyway, and now we have like this hyper regional national championship matchup. I mean, I was looking the other day. I think these two campuses of the teams playing this game are separated by 270 miles. You set your cruise control to a pretty good clip, and you're there in 4 hours or less, right? So, I mean, I think in the Southeast, every television by any sports fan is going to be tuned to this game. In other areas of the country, I think interest is going to be more fleeting. I think that's the way college football has been trending for a while now. I mean, it's such a regional game. It's been dominated by schools in the Southeast for a long time now. Especially if you look at who's winning national championships, has its day, and some others in the Big Ten. I think it's a wildly popular sport in those portions of the country. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a marquee event for like one quarter of the country, and I think that speaks to college football as a whole. I mean, people like you and I love this sport, but if you're just going to take a cross section of American society, many more people still care about the NFL than college football, and I think probably part of that reason is because most of your national champions in college football come from the same section of the country every year. However, it's also many of those schools that are making the biggest commitment and the biggest investment to college football. So if you want to change it, if you want to get the rest of the country on board with college football more, or if you're a university in those parts of the country, it's like, well, if you don't match the commitment that you see in the SEC and a few other schools, outside the SEC, well, you're probably not going to contend for national championships. That's just that's the way the game is won at this level.
Blake Toppmeyer, thank you so much, Blake. Good to have you on. Talk soon.
Absolutely. Good talking to you.
Great stuff. What a brilliant analyst of the game. Blake talked about regionally. It's really pretty much in terms of winning national championships. How about one zip code? We will take a break. Your phone calls will continue right here.
Forget resolutions. It's time for a new routine. One so simple, it'll actually stick. Just one tasty scoop. Once per day. That supports your immunity, energy, and gut health. Here's to the daily habit you'll actually want to keep. The one routine you need. AG1 by Athletic Greens.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every great play starts the night before. My Sleep Number 360 smart bed tracks my circadian rhythm, average heart rate, and breathing rate, so I know how well I'm sleeping. It's also temperature balancing, so I stay cool. And it senses my movement and automatically adjusts to help keep me comfortable all night. Sleep Number takes care of the science, so I can focus on other things. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed is on sale now, only from Sleep Number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you constantly getting up at night because you have to go? Is your bladder controlling your life? Now, gain control of your life with Better Bladder, a natural herbal alternative to prescription medicine.
I used to have to go to the bathroom every 20 minutes. With a degree of urgency, I no longer feel. I now can go 3, 4, and I have gone 5 hours without stopping to use the restroom
having had the experience as a doctor using Better Bladder with patients, I can really recommend it with confidence.
A full 2-month supply of Better Bladder is only $39.95 per month. But it won't cost you that today because you can experience Better Bladder free for 30 days. You also get a free 30-day supply of Therabotanics Perfect Omega. Just one Perfect Omega has the power of 3 ordinary fish oil supplements. Plus, get a free copy of Doctor's Secrets to a Better Bladder. A $60 total value free. Call the number on your screen now and take back.
This flashlight can burn through anything. Cardboard, plastic, metal, you name it. This U.S. Army engineer built a device to give Americans the peace of mind they deserve when outside in the dark. And he's destroying the $300 billion flashlight industry in the process, with a device that can light up an entire city. And analysts predict that every home in the U.S. will have this device by 2024. Here's how the story began 10 months ago. Richard Parker used to work as an engineer in the Army. When working in the Army, they were obligated to always carry around their tactical flashlight, one of the most underrated survival tools. This flashlight was so strong it could be used to start a fire. But when Richard retired from the Army, he had to give it back, and since it has never before been available to the public, he started looking for a flashlight that was similar in size and brightness, but couldn't find any that were strong enough. After searching for weeks without success, Richard decided to take the matter into his own hands. Blessed with his gift for engineering, Richard started building the ultimate tactical flashlight. He couldn't believe how good it turned out. It was even stronger than the flashlights they used in the Army. He had to make it available to the public. After months of testing and getting the right permits, EliteTac was born. EliteTac is the brightest flashlight of its kind and works by using the most advanced LED technology, making it 20 times brighter than regular flashlights. Check out the difference yourself. EliteTac is made from military-grade aluminum, making it the most durable flashlight on the market. EliteTac is strong enough to withstand both freezing temperatures and boiling water, as well as flaming hot fire. You can even run it over, and it will keep working. This flashlight is the perfect survival tool, strong enough to even cook an egg. Apart from high, medium, and low light, the EliteTac also has a strobe and SOS function, perfect for any emergency situation. Richard wants as many people as possible to know about this tactical flashlight, to feel secure in any situation. This is why he decided not to spend anything on advertising, keeping the price low and affordable. To cut the cost further, he is selling EliteTac exclusively online. And only today you can get a 50% discount. So click the link below to try EliteTac today.
When it comes to the holidays, everyone has their favorite roast. Traditionalists probably go for turkey or goose. Hipsters might choose a heritage possum. Vegetarians, free-range tofu, I guess. The Who's in Whoville, of course, just stick with the classic roast beast. For me, there can be only one, the standing beef rib roast, often misidentified as prime rib. Sure, some standing rib roast are prime grade, but few are. Mine, for instance, I'm pretty sure is choice rather than prime, and that's okay. Either way, it's an expensive hunk of meat, and I only have one of them here. No resets, no backup, so if I screw this up, that's that. Now you'll notice this 3-bone model that we have here has been shrouded in cheesecloth. That is because I've been drying it in the fridge for the last week, and it has in fact lost 3 ounces of weight due to evaporation. Now the cheesecloth allows that loss without turning the surface rock hard. Now I'm not claiming that this is technically dry aging, okay? That involves a lot of complex meat chemistry and is only achieved at specific temperatures and humidity levels. What I'm doing is simply drying the roast out a little bit, which is going to intensify the flavor and give us a much better char. I like char. So 7 days out, and this is what you should see. Now, to prep for cooking, follow me.
First, we require a light lubing with a neutral oil. Safflower or canola will do. This is kind of like a primer coat for the spices to come. So use, a small amount, but really, really rub it on everywhere. And don't forget the bones. Next, sprinkle on the kosher salt. I tend to go kind of heavy here, averaging 2 teaspoons per bone. So that's going to be 2 tablespoons total for us. Make sure you get the fat too. I like to kind of rub it on, really get in there. Black pepper, of course, is next. Now, a roast this size will need at least a tablespoon freshly ground, which means I'm starting with 2 tablespoons of peppercorns. Now, you can grind with one of these, of course, but I don't know why you would when you could use this. Actually, this is a coffee grinder made for camping. I just took off the handle and slapped on a cordless drill. You're welcome. All right, just go around the roast and press everything in. Make sure you've got good coverage and contact. There. Next, add a rack to your setup, and yes, I cleaned up the pan. And grab your favorite probe thermometer. This one has a 5-foot cable, and notice I have set the alarm to go off at 118 degrees. Now, when inserting, I try to eyeball how much probe I'm going to need to use to get into the middle of the mass. Oh, and I always want to set it in at an angle that will allow more of the probe to rest safely inside the meat and minimize the chance of running afoul of oven bits and pieces. Move your roast to the bottom third of a cold oven. That's critical because we want to go on a slow and gentle thermal journey here. Now, my thermometer has magnets on it, but my range front is stainless. So I got a stick-on metal plate made for phone mounts and put it on one of those suction brackets made to hold toll road passes on windshields. Problem solved. Now crank your oven to a balmy 250 and leave it until the roast hits 118, which will probably take about 3 hours, maybe more. But your patience will be rewarded. At 118, pull the roast and let it rest at room temperature. Now I know it looks done, but believe me, it's only mostly done. Carryover heat will keep the internal climbing for at least another 10 to 15 degrees. Meanwhile, park a 12-inch cast iron skillet on the same rack and boost the oven up to 400 degrees, which in my oven seems to take forever. All right, when the rack and pan are cool enough to safely handle, move the roast and the rack over to a second pan and then drain all these drippings from the first pan. This is a key ingredient if you want to make an authentic Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, I didn't mention Yorkshire pudding, did I? Oops.
Capture all the liquid love you can there, then simply set it aside. Next, add 4 large eggs to your food processor or blender carafe, along with 2 cups of whole milk, not skim, whole, and 280 grams of all-purpose flour, which is about 2 cups, but I really want you to weigh it. It's a lot more precise. Last but not least, we'll need 2 tablespoons of the drippings and the salt. There. Now simply blend or process until smooth. And yes, I'm doing this with the lid off because the shot's, boring with the lid on, although it is kind of dangerous. Go slow. Mesmerizing, ain't it? Good. Now, when the skillet is good and hot, add another 2 tablespoons of the roast drippings. If you don't have that much, add a little neutral oil until you do. Swirl to coat and be sure to get way up the sides of the pan. There. Then add the batter all at once. Pour it right down the middle. And then carefully re-oven. All right, don't slosh. There. Now, in 30 minutes, you're going to have something that looks kind of like, wait for it, oh, trivet. This. Yeah. Sexy, huh? Now, the roast goes back in to sear. You're not going to need the thermometer for this, so you can lose the probe completely. There. Now boost the box to 500 or even 550 if you have it, and cook 10 to 15 minutes or until the sear is dark and barky and the kitchen's kind of smoky. You may want your exhaust fan on for this. Et voila! Since the interior is technically already rested, you can move to carving as soon as your fingers can take the heat. Although a large chef's knife would do, I like a long slicer for disassembly. Now I always start with the ribs facing straight up and down so that I can remove them in a nice even slab. There, and then break those down into individual ribs. Meaty and delicious. There. The next part that I take off is this kind of wedge of fat on the shallow side of the roast. I'm not going to throw it away, but I'm not going to show you what I'm going to do with it either. As for slicing the body of the roast, I love those in pieces. Be careful not to cut too thinly. After all, it's the holidays. Make sure everybody gets a serious slab of meat. I only carve about half of it, usually. Save the rest for, when the guests are gone. Load up your platter. Don't be afraid to use your hands. And you're ready to serve. Now, I have to tell you, I've got a very strong weakness for these things. You know, the ribs are actually my favorite, but I'm gonna wait and have this in the morning when I throw it into the toaster oven to crisp it up. No, for now, I'm gonna show you my trick for escaping from my family during the holidays. You tear yourself off a nice big piece of Yorkshire pudding like this. You take yourself a slab of meat like this. I'll be in the garage. Happy holidays.
And then we're going to stay on the cool side as we head into the middle of next week. A lot of changes in the 7-day tracker.
Keeping us on our toes, Kelly. Thanks for joining us.
With less moderate to severe eczema, why hide your skin if you can help heal your skin from within? Dupixent helps keep you one step ahead of eczema with clearer skin and less itch.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
I'm 53, but in my mind, I'm still 35. That's why I take OsteoBiflex, to keep me moving the way I was made to. It nourishes and strengthens my joints for the long term.
OsteoBiflex, plus vitamin D for immune support.
I gotta know who oven baked my bacon. Who did it? Tyler. Come on over here, man.
Oh, wow. Ow. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Hi, I'm Steve, and I live in Austin, Texas. I work as a personal assistant to the owner of a large manufacturing firm. I've got anywhere from 10 to 50 projects going at any given time. I absolutely have to be sharp. Let me tell you, I was struggling with my memory. It was going downhill. My friend recommended that I try Prevagen, and over time, it made a very significant difference in my memory and in my cognitive ability. I started to feel a much better sense of well-being.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Are you losing control of your finances? Are creditors constantly harassing you? Are you worried about losing your car or home? Then you need real financial help.
I'm bankruptcy attorney Stephen Klimjak. I know that bad things happen to good people. So if you're facing foreclosure, repossession, or overwhelming debt, give me a call. I'll work hard to get you the fresh start that you deserve.
If you're struggling with debt, call attorney Stephen L. Klimjak, 694-0600.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. We are professional grade GMC.
I lost my son due to extreme negligence. A mother's instinct just flared up in me. And that's why I reached out to Morgan & Morgan. When I saw my attorney come full force on my behalf, it was amazing. He went right after them, and he showed them that they were wrong. I just want to tell Morgan & Morgan